Welcome to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, along with head coach Scott Langer. Coach, a tough weekend, really. A 2-1 loss Friday and a 3-1 loss on Saturday up in Bismarck. Tough time scoring goals, really, but Friday, there were a lot of good components to that game. And as a staff, I think you guys felt like a lot of energy, a lot of hustle. What can you take away from Friday?
I mean, there was a lot of energy in that game. I mean, we tilted the ice pretty good on Friday night, and obviously we don't have 2 points to show for it. They were opportunistic and found a way to put a couple by us. But all in all, I mean, the game our guys played on the road was really good. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's going to happen. I mean, you're going to play good games and not get the results that you're looking for. That's just that's sports.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And then we move on to Saturday. Maybe a little different feel on Saturday night. What if you had to pick that apart? What'd you like? What didn't you like?
Well, I mean, we just didn't score.
Mm-hmm.
We had opportunities to score, and we just couldn't score. And it's great that their goaltenders played well, and we made a few mistakes that they capitalized on. And with that being said, they get to put the Muppets on Twitter and call a timeout to smear it in our face with 9 seconds to go, and that's what you open yourself up to when you have a bad weekend. But I mean, here's the big thing. When teams do that to you, and especially in their own building, they think they're winning, but they're not. They're losing. And that team could have made some ground, and with the antics, they've taken a step back. And you look at our team, how good we've been since October.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you drop 2 games in a row or 3 out of 4, at this point in the season, everybody, has something to say, or they're a bit worried. And you forget that we brought 5 guys back from last year's national championship team. And, this team has done an incredible job since October. We've been on a great run.
Yep.
And I could tell you the adversity that we were handed this weekend, it's only going to make us better.
Well, and it's an interesting thing because if you look at the schedule from last year, right at this time, there were back-to-back losses. And the same thing was said. It's like, what's happening? Oh, well, sometimes that's the way it goes. And obviously that team bounced back, and no doubt that this one will too. Wings are at the top of the division right now still, I should say, with 60 points. Bismarck with 52, Minot with 52, Austin 50, and then the Wilderness with 43, and St. Cloud with 24. At home against Minot coming up this weekend, who is coming off a 3-point weekend. Second, third, and fourth in the standings, obviously very close. What will some keys be against Minot? What have you guys got to work on?
Well, our complete focus this week is our game, and just kind of getting back to what we do best and doing it well. When we do things well, obviously we win a lot of hockey games, and scoring goals is we didn't give a whole lot up last weekend. Again, we just didn't. We just didn't score enough goals to win hockey games. So I think it's just getting back to being confident and making plays and doing the little things that it takes to score. And our defensive game is always going to be the same. It's going to be tough to play against, but if I was to bet on my team, I wouldn't want to be in the way of my team come this weekend after taking a step back last weekend. And that's going to be the approach all week. We're going to refocus what we do, and we're going to do it the right way, and we're going to continue to lead this division.
Well, and specialty teams has been strong, and like you said, top of the division, both in the kill and power play. So there's been obviously some improvement there too. A lot to be proud of, and as you said, I'm sure that they will bounce back. Coach, top prospects is coming up, and it was announced last week that Cooper Haar, Connor Beatty, Jake Seibel, Pearson Brandon, Nico DeVita, Henry Welsh, and Jake Bonet are all going over to the tournament. And of course, you will be the head coach for the Central Division. You've been over there many times, 12 times total, as a head coach, or is that both as an assistant and head?
Well, there was a few times I went and represented as an assistant.
Okay. And we have talked about this every year, it seems like this time of year. And probably a lot of the same things can be said, but maybe there's somebody out there that isn't familiar with what Top Prospects actually is and what makes it special. It's kind of unique, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean, it puts the league's best players all in one venue on a single, 2 single days. So, it allows that captive audience and all the scouts to be there to watch these guys put their talents on display. So, it's one of the best things this league's ever done is come up with a Top Prospects event that that truly allowed our guys to showcase their ability. And
Right.
obviously it's twofold. You have your players that don't have a Division I or a Division III deal, that are good players that are probably deserving, and they're going to get to show those talents. And then you have the prospect team that's made up of guys that the team is picked by NHL Central Scouting. So all those guys are on that team are in the vision of the NHL team. So I mean, it's a great honor either way, whether you make the select team or you make the divisional team. It really is a great opportunity for these guys.
Yeah. And for you to be the head coach and take this many players over and because of course leading the division, that's got to be pretty special too.
Well, I mean, yeah, you guys work really hard, obviously during that first half of the season. That allows you to be the coach of that team, and it allows me to go there and help these guys through that process and help them through it, because there's some anxiety. Obviously, everybody's trying to get their college situation wrapped up, and you just hope to help a few guys when you're there. But it's proud too. I mean, when your guys, your team has been able to do it 2 or 3, 4 years in a row and allow me to go there and represent the Central Division, I'm proud of my guys.
Yeah. Well, and that was actually kind of along the lines of thinking too, is that for some of these guys that obviously haven't been, to have you there, and have somebody that has that experience and stuff, I would imagine makes things a lot smoother for them. Interestingly enough, the assistant coach is Lane Sedevy, the head coach of the Bismarck Bobcats. How does that work? Especially coming off a weekend like that, you got to put it behind you and just kind of try to be professional, or
No, it's all about the players in the league.
Yeah.
It's 100% about the North American League hockey, the North American League, and
yeah.
and the players getting the best opportunity they can to show their talents, and everything else doesn't mean a thing.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's about it that I've got for you, Coach. We've got a player coming up here in just a minute here, folks, but I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us a little bit about the weekend that was and about what the focus is going to be, and, of course, the weekend coming up against Minot. So thanks for taking some time. And we'll take a break and be back right after this on Wings Weekly. Welcome back as we continue on with Wings Weekly, and as promised, the player is joining me, and this time it's Nico DeVita from Bellevue, Washington. How's it going today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. So is that a Greek name?
No, it's Italian.
Italian, right on.
DeVita is Italian. Nico,
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure, is Greek, but that's not
Right.
why I was named Nico.
Right. It's interesting that I having you on the show here, because I actually was talking to somebody earlier today, and I mentioned that you were coming on, and they're like, "Oh, good." And I kind of looked at him like, "Why good?" And they were like, "Well, because he seems like he's been around here forever, but nobody knows anything about him. Like, you're kind of a mystery man.
Yeah.
Showed up last year, and
Sure,
all these people asking, who's the guy with the flow on the bench?" And
I am the guy with the flow. Yes. Yes.
well, anyway, let's without further ado, let's dive into it a little bit here.
All right.
Where did you start, or how did you start playing hockey, and when?
So, for the most part, I grew up in Colorado. So I just went skating, just like a open skate, public skate, and picked it up pretty quickly. And my dad, he wasn't gonna let me be a figure skater, so hockey came up, and I loved it. So been here ever since.
What's your favorite thing about, like, I've asked guys before this, kind of like, there's so many components to hockey.
Yeah.
There's this kind of beauty in the chaos of it all, and the violence of it, so to speak, but yet there's flow and movement, and there's just so many things to it. Is there a certain part of it? Is it the skating? Is it the hitting? Is it is there something about it that particularly that you can put your finger on?
Honestly, I don't know if I could put my finger on one thing, but I know that it brings in a lot of components. Like, I played football, played soccer, baseball. I've played almost every sport out there. And hockey just, for me, kind of brought it all together. And I guess that's one thing I loved about it. It's like faster than football, but you got the hits like it, and then it's like the gameplay is similar to soccer, so it's like it just brought it all together for me.
Took the best pieces of each of them and
Exactly.
all right. How about, you mentioned your dad. How about your family? Do you have any siblings or anybody that maybe, either played or whatever? Tell us a little about your family.
Yeah, so my parents did not play hockey. My dad grew up in Southern California. My sister, my younger sister, she's 12. She plays hockey, goalie. She's pretty good.
Wow.
Her team's doing really well. They're like they have a chance to go to nationals this year, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
Especially from Seattle, which is kind of rare. But besides that, I was the first one to play hockey in the entire family. So
Excellent. When you're not, have you got a chance to watch her play at all?
yeah,
Makes it tough when you're.
not a ton, but I've skated with her a few times. Like over the summer, we'll do some stick and pucks. Go out there, I'll shoot on her. Not as hard as I normally shoot, of course, but like I haven't seen her play a real game in a while because it just contradicts like my season and stuff. But I get to skate with her a few times in the off season and stuff, so that's fun.
Right on. Coming from a mountainous area, like you said, even Colorado, you're coming here to this flat place where you can watch your dog run away for days.
Yeah.
What were your first impressions of Aberdeen?
Well, so I was actually born in Chicago, and my parents, I didn't live there. I only lived there for about a year. My parents lived there for a while, and they told me South Dakota was going to be very flat, windy, and like the storms are going to be, like you're going to get the snow blowing versus just falling, where like in Colorado it would just fall. And so they told me to be ready for that, and I didn't really know what to expect, but it was a shock, driving by some fields and you can just see forever, it feels like.
Yeah.
But I'm used to it now.
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
How about the community as a whole? The size of it and everything? Was that a surprise at all?
So in Colorado, I grew up in not as small as Aberdeen, but not as big as Seattle, where I live now, or Bellevue, Seattle. So I wasn't like too shocked with the size, but I love small towns personally. I think it's really cool because then you can get to know people really well. Most of the community here, which is pretty cool.
Well, they get involved for sure too, and that's one of the nice things about a medium-sized town or a smaller town is that people take an active interest in you and so on. But still have some of the conveniences of the bigger town.
Yeah.
Well, you have been. You're going to be headed to Top Prospects. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Have the coaches, or maybe you've talked to some other players that have been once before or something like that, what do they say to you to try to kind of prepare you?
Well, so I've been talking to Murphy a lot because he sits right near me, because he went last year and he was just telling me, have fun with it. You're there for a reason. People see something in you, so just go out there and do your best and things will fall into place. So just gonna go out there and do what I do best.
Good advice for sure. I'm always interested when you play against a team like Bismarck last weekend or Minot this coming weekend or whatever, and then you get thrown together and have to play with them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
The dynamics of that are always kind of like wow. But everybody that I talk to, when they come back, they always say locker room was great. And even guys that are prolific chirpers or whatever. In years past, I've talked to them and they said, they were really really cool. So. I guess the one thing in common is obviously hockey, and that everybody's there to try to advance their hockey careers. So that's everybody there for the same reason. Anyway, congratulations on that, and good luck over there. Speaking of Murph, I actually asked him this question, and his answer was pretty interesting. So I wanted to ask you, what's the best chirp that anyone's ever given you? Has there ever been one that you went, whoa, that actually burned?
So there wasn't, not that I can remember that like burned, but there was one where somebody was just like yelling at me like I have Walmart skates or something. And then it's not that it was a very good chirp, but after that period, I went to the locker room and told, like, I think it was Henry. I was like, some guy told me I had Walmart skates, and he's like, well, obviously it was a good chirp if you're still thinking about it. And I was like, I guess you're right. It's not like it was anything special, but I guess that one made me think for
Yeah.
a second. Don't know why, but
That's funny. I like that, Henry. Well, if 10, 15 minutes later you're going over it in your
Yeah,
head, that
right,
probably was
right.
effective.
yeah.
That's good. Who's the locker room DJ? Who's the one that's responsible for the music and gets guys going?
I'd say Cade or Clay. You know, after wins, Cade takes the music, and when he was gone, Clay took it.
Right on.
We play same few songs, different order, but we play the same few songs and we all sing along. So pretty
Right on.
fun.
Yeah, very. Is there any particular song that you listen to, like you know, in your headphones, or like to get pumped up, to get going before a game?
I don't really listen to music before the games. But like to pump me up, I'd say like I love classical rock, like
Yeah.
you know, 60s, 70s rock, some Led Zeppelin, Rolling
Wow.
Stones, like that kind of stuff.
Right
I
on.
love. So
Do you have any unusual pregame rituals, or I guess superstitions, maybe, whatever?
I mean, every home game, before I take a nap, I watch Star Wars. So I just keep rotating. With Disney Plus now, it's easy. So I just keep rotating all the Star Wars in episode order. So
Excellent. Very cool. Okay. Would you rather have or be given $100,000 or have a friend get $200,000?
depends on the friend.
We'll say this is a good friend.
Good friend. God. That's a tough one. Honestly, I'd have to say I'd rather take the 100,000 personally. I mean, I love my friends, but you know, everyone has, especially right now, everyone has things that they do with that money. Like, especially
Yeah.
most of my friends at home, they're probably just going to put that towards college.
Right.
So I won't be seeing a lot of that. Whereas with me, I feel like I'm in a spot where I could share it more, I guess. But I don't know. That's a tough one.
It
That's a
is.
real tough one.
It is, but that's the point of them. Get you thinking. Minot coming up this weekend. You're back home. What do you got to do against Minot?
We just got to come ready to play. You know, we got to have a really good week of practice. I think. You know, today we had a great day of practice, I felt, and just got to keep bringing the energy. You know, we got a last stretch of the regular season, so
Yep.
we really got to bring it and secure a good spot for playoffs.
Well, you know, and I brought this up to Coach Lang, or not to him so much, but while we were talking, that last year's team had back-to-back losses right at this point in the season. And of course, they bounced back, obviously, or you guys bounced back, obviously, and finished strong. So it's interesting that you mentioned
Yeah.
that's key to, you know, head into the playoffs on a high note and finish the last portion of the regular season with strength. All right, well, Nico, that's pretty much all I've got for you. I appreciate you coming on, though, and I wish you best of luck over in Top
Thank you.
Prospects, and of course, good luck against Minot here coming
Thanks
up
for
too.
having me.
You bet. All right, well, folks, Friday, February 7th versus Minot, as I mentioned, it's Starion Bank is the corporate sponsor that night. Early Valentine's Day couples night. Buy one ticket at the regular price and receive the second one half off. Offer only good at the door. And then Saturday, February 8th versus Minot singles night. Buy a $15 corporate bar stool seat and receive a free drink ticket. Call Aaron at 380-5852 to reserve yours today, and space is limited. Bring your skates, skate with the Wings after the game, and like I always say, even if you don't skate, walk out on the ice, talk to the guys, get to know them a little bit, get some autographs, pictures, whatever. The doors open for all Wings home games at 5:30, and the puck always drops at 7:15. $10 general admission tickets are on sale now at any of the 4C Express locations in Aberdeen, with additional purchase or upgrade to reserve by calling Aaron again at 380-5852. For all the latest news and information on Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Nico, thanks for coming on.
Yep.
And thank all of you for watching. My name is Jay Kleinknecht, and that will wrap up this week's Wings Weekly.